It's not just human beings that have been abducted from the Earth. The phenomena of cattle abduction and mutilation is very well documented. The small grey type alien is believed to have a diet which consists of bovine soft tissue organs, which are liquidized with blood plasma to form a grey semolina-like liquid which they then consume. In the following clip, scientist Jacques Vallée describes the characteristics of cattle mutilation.
Thousands of bizarre animal mutilations have been discovered, not only in this country, but in Africa, Australia, Brazil, and many European countries, in fact, all over the world. In this country, mutilations have occurred in over 30 states in the last 5 years alone. Frustrated ranchers and law enforcement officials have come to recognize the classic signature of the mysterious mutilators. Often, in a remote area, a cow will be found dead, the sex organs removed, and the tongue, an ear, and an eye, all surgically cut out. The body, more often than not, has been drained of blood, though no blood has been found on the ground. In fact, there are no tracks or prints of any kind near the body. And yet, amazingly enough, there is no evidence of a struggle.
Say 90 to 95% of the mutilations will be almost identical. Some part of the face will be gone, exposing nothing but, the jawbone. An eye will be taken, the tongue will be cut out, and an ear will be taken. The rectal area of the animal will be what appears to be bored out. The reproductive organs will be removed. In the case of a cow, the udder will either be entirely removed or parts of it will be removed. Usually, in probably 90 or 95% of the cases, there will be no blood whatsoever in the animal. And there will be no traces of blood on the ground where it fell or where it was mutilated. All you've got is the carcass, and you've got no idea why it died, or how it died, or how it was mutilated. Not only did we have the mutilated dead animals on the prairie, but we also started getting the lights in the sky at night.
And I'm talking about four-legged predators. They'll come in and they'll bite, and then they'll pull and they'll tear. The cuts we have, even we can't make cuts like this. We've tried this many times on dead animals with scalpels, razors, and knives, and we can't make the same cuts.
Animals, wild animals, predators, coyotes, won't approach these carcasses.
Dr. William Fitzgerald runs an animal clinic in Durango, Colorado. Because of his expertise in the field of veterinary medicine, he was asked by the sheriff's office to perform an autopsy on a mutilated cow found in a remote area of state-owned forest.
This particular animal had been largely exsanguinated. The anus and about the first 4 inches of the rectum had been removed. The preputial skin and the last 2 or 3 inches of the penis had been severed flush with the body wall. The left eye had been removed, and the last 1/3 of the tongue had been cut. A portion of the lips on the left side of the animal were also sawed off.
Exsanguination, the removal of blood from an animal, has been a predominant trademark of the mutilators. Few officials have found an answer to the technique used in this procedure. Dr. Fitzgerald describes what he thinks is the method.
If a large bore needle is placed in the animal's jugular vein while the animal is sedated, under anesthesia, or awake if you like, somehow restrained, however, the animal's heart will function as a pump and will pump out very nearly all of its blood through that needle. The animal was apparently restrained with something other than ropes. Why, I don't know. It was apparently washed completely clean. Why, I don't know. And it was in a very remote area. Perhaps these things tie together. Perhaps whoever, whatever, performed this didn't want to be observed.
Unidentifiable lights in the sky have appeared in virtually every area of this country which has been plagued by cattle mutilations. But no explanation has been found for these strange sightings. There are some who believe that these objects in the sky are responsible for thousands of mysterious cattle deaths which continue to this day.
Many people claim that DNA is the building block of life. I would take issue with that statement. If we consider the human body to be a house, then DNA would be the plan, the blueprint, or the instructions of how to build the house, not the blocks. An entire set of instructions is contained inside every cell of the human body within our DNA. Everything in the universe is made of atoms, and the atom which I consider the building block of life is carbon. Without carbon, there would be no life. Carbon is a very special element because of the way it can bond or link to other atoms. Most elements in our periodic table can bond or link to one or two other atoms. Water, for example, is made up of two hydrogen atoms that can each link with one other atom, and a single oxygen atom that can link to two atoms, thus making H2, two hydrogen atoms, and one O, one oxygen atom, hence H2O. But carbon is special because it can link with four other atoms, and it is also very happy to link with other carbon atoms. This means that there are thousands of different structures that can exist using the carbon atom as the main building block. Most of the substances we know and love have carbon atoms as their backbone. Carbohydrate, sugar, fatty acids, protein, diamonds. All of these things are made of carbon. All of the cells in our body are held together with molecules comprised mainly of carbon atoms. Man has also used carbon to make non-naturally occurring substances, such as polythene and plastic, and many other besides these. More recent developments in the use of carbon is in the field of carbon nanotubes. A carbon nanotube, like plastic, does not occur in nature and is a man-made structure in which carbon is used in a hexagonal lattice formed into a long tube. These structures have immense strength, can be very long, and are 50,000 times thinner than a human hair. There are all kinds of uses that our scientists propose that carbon nanotubes might be used for in the future, including nanotechnology, i.e. tiny microscopic machines with moving parts, electronics, optics, and other fields such as making new, stronger materials could all possibly use carbon nanotubes in the future. However, man has not yet developed technology to put the carbon nanotube to any of these uses. So what does this chemistry lesson have to do with alien implants? Over the last 13 years or so, American surgeon Dr. Roger Leir has supervised the removal of 15 alien implants from within the bodies of human beings. All of the patients claim to have had abduction experiences. Implants are typically found in the head or neck area, arm, leg, or foot. A typical implant consists of a small metallic rod about the width of a pencil lead and about 7 millimeters in length. There is never any puncture wound or portal of entry observed with implants, i.e., no evidence of how the implant got into the body. Nor is there ever any evidence of rejection or inflammatory reaction. The object which was removed from Leir's latest patient had areas of biological tissue growing out of the metal and into the person's body. These implants are all provably of unknown manufacture. The metal within the implants has a nickel to iron ratio only found in meteorites. When the most recent implant was examined using an electron microscope, it was found to contain, you guessed it, carbon nanotubes. If somebody has a tiny device in their body which contains carbon nanotubes, then it must have been put there and manufactured by something with intelligence, an intelligence more advanced than our own. Also observed under the microscope were perfectly rectangular sodium chloride crystals, which again do not occur in nature,